This was a 2007 football season where the LSU Tigers had to replace 4 first-round draft picks from the 06 team that ended the season with 7 straight victories, including the #1 overall pick in the quarterback Jamarcus Russell. Still, the Tigers were a preseason consensus top 5 pick and a favorite to contend for the national championship. This was a Tiger offense that had 3 new coaches, including the direction of a new offensive coordinator, Gary Croton, who returned to the state of Louisiana, having served as head coach at Louisiana Tech. This was an LSU defense that returned 8 starters, led by preseason player of the year, Glenn Dorsey, once again ready to be among the nation's best. This was a season of high expectations, drama, and redemption. This is the story of a football team with a heart of gold, the 2007 national champion LSU Tigers. Les Miles opened his 3rd season as head coach of the Tigers on the road in Starkville to face Sylvester Croom and the Mississippi State Bulldogs. It was the first time LSU opened a season against an SEC opponent since 1991. It was also the first time in program history a regular season game was played on a non-holiday Thursday night. In this series against the team they've played more than any other in history, the Tigers had won 7 straight and 14 of the last 15. On this season opening night, it wouldn't take the team long to make sure they would add to those numbers. After a sluggish first quarter, the Tiger defense clamped down and suffocated the Bulldog offense. 7 turnovers, including 6 interceptions, led to 38 points, and the Tigers cruised to a 45-0 victory, the program's first over an SEC opponent to start the season in 4 tries. It was the team's 3rd straight season opening victory under head coach Les Miles and their 5th straight overall.
Yeah, we felt good. We had some good play calls and we executed well. And, we just, credit to this offense. We came out here and, got the job done.
It's something special. Anytime you go out there and send a message to, to opposing teams that, this defense is going to be something special out there, it puts little things in the back of their mind. They did a great job putting pressure on the quarterback, and every quarterback sees that.
Senior safety Craig Steltz had a career night, pulling in a school record-tying 3 interceptions. Statistically, that also made him the leading receiver for the Bulldog offense. Craig Steltz graduated from Rummel High in New Orleans in 2003 as the state's top-ranked safety prospect. The 6'2", 204-pound defensive back isn't afraid to hand out punishment. Steltz started making history as a junior when he became the first player in LSU history to record an interception in 4 straight games against Arizona, Auburn, Tulane, and you guessed it, Mississippi State. 2007 was his first season as a full-time starter in the Tiger defensive backfield. With 2 seasons of Bo Pelini's defense under his belt, Steltz was ready to answer the call for the every down responsibilities as a Tiger safety. The team's home opener in Week 2 was billed as college football's premier early season top 10 showdown. Number 2 LSU hosting number 9 Virginia Tech. It was just the 3rd meeting between 2 non-conference top 10 teams in Tiger Stadium history. A stadium record 92,739 fans turned out for this nationally televised primetime affair. They were not disappointed. In just the 2nd meeting between these 2 programs, the Hokies were overmatched in every phase of the game. Known for their stingy defense and special teams play, Virginia Tech was dismantled on the ground.
Trip receivers right, lone receiver left, shotgun formation. Flynn, option play, tosses it out, and this is Keelan Williams. He leaps the defender and is on his feet down the far sidelines. They may not get him. 30, 25, 15, 10, they're not going to get him. Keelan Williams scores!
And in the air.
Shotgun formation, 3 receivers left. This is Perilou, who is going to throw it to a wide open early set. Touchdown! Nobody close!
To the tune of 598 total yards. It was the most yardage by an LSU offense since the 2003 season. But the Tiger offense wasn't the only star of this show.
Gain of 5. Here's a toss coming to the near side, and Orr this time is being chased down, and he's thrown for a loss.
LSU's defense never let the Hokies find a rhythm and held this Virginia Tech team to a measly 149 total yards of offense. When the dust settled, the scoreboard read 48-7 LSU. It was the largest margin of victory over a ranked opponent since December of 1970. It was also the largest margin of victory ever over a top 10 ranked team.
Yeah, the crowd really came out and they supported us. It's the biggest crowd ever. We knew it was going to be a crazy atmosphere. We were ready to play at home, and we gave them a good game. We were excited about it.
You know, it said that we for real. You know, I think people are going to respect us now. And, I mean, every opportunity we get to come out and play hard and dominate, we're going to take it, you know. And it just happened to be against Virginia Tech on national television.
Momentum would stay colored purple and gold 1 week later when the Blue Raiders from Middle Tennessee visited Tiger Stadium. LSU was without some of its key starters. No Matt Flynn at quarterback, no early Doucette at wide receiver, but no problem for the home team. Quarterback Ryan Perlew gained some valuable experience in his first career start as a Tiger, throwing for 298 yards and 3 touchdowns, and leading the team to 505 total yards of offense in the 44-0 win. It was the second shutout in 3 games for the Tiger defense, who limited an outmanned MTSU team to just 90 total yards. Through the first 12 quarters of the season, the Tigers surrendered just 7 points, the fewest allowed to start a season through 3 games since 1959. An SEC showdown with 3-0 South Carolina in Tiger Stadium was next. The Gamecocks had climbed the rankings quickly to start the season and arrived in Baton Rouge ranked 12th in the nation. But the Tigers were ranked 2nd and showed the Gamecocks why.
And in motion coming to the near side. And Mitchell hands the ball away and hit at the line of scrimmage for no gain on the play. It's Corey Boyd. Here's a snap, and Perlew keeps it himself, fakes it to Williams, and Perlew streaking down to the 35, 30 to the 28-yard line. Flynn hands the ball and breaking it across the line of scrimmage. This Hesser across the 20. He's got the first down up to the 24-yard line.
Torrential rains from a tropical depression soaked Tiger Stadium for most of the day, but it couldn't wash away LSU's growing confidence. The Gamecocks were able to score in the first quarter to tie the game at 7, but after Richard Dixon's first career touchdown catch in the second quarter made it 14-7, an incredible interception by safety Danny McCray gave the Tigers the ball back. LSU would execute a play that would be talked about for the rest of the season. It was a play that even South Carolina head coach Steve Spurrier called perfect.
32-yard attempt. There's a snap. Now it's a fake and the flip over to David, and he is going to score. Holy cow, what a play! What about that, old ball coach?
That touchdown made it 21-7 LSU. Both teams would add to the scoreboard, but the final would read 28-16 LSU, their 16th straight home victory and the 5th straight against a top 25 opponent. LSU's defense held the Gamecocks to just 17 total rushing yards. For his efforts, senior defensive lineman Glenn Dorsey was named SEC Lineman of the Week for his 8 tackles, 7 of them solo, and 1 sack. Week 5 of the season brought a trip down I-10 to LSU's home away from home, the Louisiana Superdome, for a Saturday morning matchup with Tulane. It was the first time these two teams faced each other in the Big Easy since the 1994 season. The Tigers and Green Wave wore special uniforms for the game, which were part of an effort to aid in the continuing recovery from Hurricane Katrina. Along with a special set of purple jerseys, the Tigers also wore white helmets for the first time since the 1997 Independence Bowl, and just for the second time in recent history. Game time brought a late wake-up call for the LSU Tigers. In front of the largest crowd to see a Tulane home game since 1987, the Green Wave battled to a 9-7 lead in the second quarter following an Andre Anderson touchdown. A field goal at the end of the first half gave the Tigers a 1-point lead after the first 30 minutes. And whatever halftime adjustments and inspiration Coach Miles gave the team at the break, it worked. LSU scored 24 points in the second half, 27 unanswered points in all, and returned to Baton Rouge with a 34-9 victory. The win was LSU's 12th straight against non-SEC opponents and was the 20th straight win over an in-state opponent. It was also the program's 12th non-conference game under Les Miles and 12th victory. If the Virginia Tech game in Week 2 was the early season matchup of the schedule, then Week 6 was looked at as the showdown of the season, as the defending national champion Florida Gators traveled to Baton Rouge for a primetime matchup in front of a national television audience. The Gators entered the game with the title of national champs and the hardware. The Tigers entered the game with the hype, the momentum, and the expectations. With a 5-0 record, LSU entered kickoff as the nation's #1 team in the AP poll for the first time since the 1959 season. LSU also carried with it a 12-game win streak, their last loss courtesy of Florida 1 year ago in Gainesville. It was quite simply everything you come to expect from an SEC showdown. A new record crowd, over 92,900 packed Tiger Stadium, and no doubt went home emotionally exhausted. The hype reached an earlier than normal fevered pitch when Mike VI made his pregame debut down the hill and into Tiger Stadium. But the Gators took a big bite out of the Tiger hysteria early. Quarterback Tim Tebow, who would go on to claim the 2007 Heisman Trophy, led the Gators to 2 first-half touchdowns and a 17-7 lead at the half. The third quarter saw each team score 1 touchdown, making it 24-14 Gators, heading into one of the more memorable and tense fourth quarters ever played in Death Valley. The defense triggered the turnaround with an interception off of Tebow early in the fourth. LSU's offense would get close, but would stall inside of the 5. On 4th and 4 from the Florida 4-yard line, where a field goal and 3 points seemed like a guarantee, Miles went into the playbook for one of many heart-stopping calls of the night.
Boy, this is a huge play in this game and for this season. Tigers down by 2 scores. Spread the field, 3 receivers right, 1 left. Flynn in the shotgun with Hester back there. Looks, rolls to the near side, throws it, touchdown! Demetrius Byrd.
With the lead cut to 3, it was time for the Tiger defense to make another stop, and they did, holding the Gators to 3 and out. With 9 minutes and 20 seconds left in the game, the Tigers took over on their own 40-yard line, and the night then belonged to senior Jacob Hester. On a 4th and 1 near midfield, there was no way the punting unit was coming out.
4th down and a long yard. Dixon in motion, I formation, handoff to Hester. Second effort, may have gotten it.
With the drive alive, the Tigers made their way down the field and again inside Florida's 10-yard line. But again, the drive would stall. But faced with a 4th and 1 where a field goal would tie the game, Miles called on his money man once again.
4th down and less than a yard at the 6-yard line. Oh my goodness. LaFell flanks to the right side. Flynn, or that is Perilou under center. Hands to Hester, and Hester has it, I think. He is right at the 5-yard line.
2 plays later, it was Hester's heroics that gave LSU its first lead of the game.
3rd and goal at the 2.5. Flynn under center. Hester straight ahead. He is in for the score!
In all, the Tigers turned to Hester 8 times on a 15-play, 8-minute, 11-second drive, including 2 fourth-down conversions and the go-ahead touchdown. In the final quarter, LSU's offense was the difference, holding the ball for more than 12 minutes. Florida's last play, a desperation pass into the end zone, fell to the ground, and the Tigers capped the comeback for a 28-24 win.
Gave us just what we needed to have. You played a defense that they had to go the long field. There was no chance when we took the lead that they were going down the field. No chance.
You know, we just kept playing hard, kept doing the little things, and it just came around, and we made plays when we had to, and you know, the coaches showed a lot of confidence in the players and in the offensive line, and you know, I'm just so happy right now, and just proud of these guys.
It was a tough game, but we persevered and came through. Everybody stuck together. You know, nobody was down at halftime, so we came out the second half. So we had to make big plays, and I think that's what we did on both sides of the ball, all 3 phases: offense, defense, and special teams.
Yeah, it did. It was an exciting game. Went down to the wire, so we knew it was going to be a good game. You know, we weren't going to come in and just hang 40 on them, and they're not going to fight back. But it was a great game.
You can forgive Jacob Hester for staying on the ground. Spent of emotion and energy after scoring the game-winning touchdown against Florida. He earned it. The senior from Shreveport earned SEC Player of the Week honors for his efforts in that game, but earned so much more for the career he had at LSU. Hester's versatility allowed him to line up as a bruising fullback or as an always moving forward tailback with deceptive speed. In 2007, Hester proved to be the stabilizing force in LSU's backfield. Against Tulane, his 14-yard run in the second half put him over 1,000 rushing yards for his career. He would go on to rush for 1,103 yards in his senior season, the 9th highest total in LSU history. Hester proved in 2007 to be the workhorse of the LSU offense and may always be remembered as the player the Tigers turned to when they needed a leader to take charge. The win over Florida vaulted the Tigers to #1 in all 3 of the major polls, the first time in school history to receive such accolades. LSU was also the owner of the nation's longest winning streak, 13 games dating back to the 2006 season. But there was no time to celebrate this midseason achievement. Waiting in Lexington were the 17th-ranked Kentucky Wildcats. The Cats' offense was gaining lots of national attention thanks to standout quarterback Andre Woodson. But it was LSU's offense that set much of the tempo. Tight end Richard Dixon scored his second touchdown of the season in the third quarter, and Colt David's 30-yard field goal on the next possession gave the Tigers a 13-point lead over the Cats. That's when Woodson and Kentucky, both offensively and defensively, would respond with their biggest surge of the game. A late third quarter Woodson touchdown pass made it a 27-21 game, and Kentucky would add a field goal to make it a 3-point contest in the fourth quarter. 2 plays later, Kentucky's defense made its first big play of the game.
27-24 LSU. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Shotgun formation. Flynn. Play action fake. Deep drop. Throws it way down and the bell is open, but it is intercepted. It was underthrown by Flynn.
The turnover would be crucial as Kentucky would drive the field and kick another field goal to tie the game at 27. But LSU would have the ball last, and Colt David lined up for a career-long 57-yard field goal to win it.
David to attempt a 57-yarder.
So here we go. There's the snap. Kick. Gonna be just short.
Both teams would trade touchdowns in the first overtime and field goals in the second. With the first possession of overtime #3, after an interference call on LSU kept the drive alive, Kentucky converted when Andre Woodson hit Steve Johnson for the touchdown. The 2-point conversion failed, but the Tigers knew what they had to do. For 3 plays, the Tigers tried, but could not break through for a first down, setting up a familiar scenario to Tiger fans, needing a conversion on 4th down.
Scott is the running back. Zinger in motion. Flynn under center. Handoff to Scott. Straight ahead. I don't think he got there. He didn't make it, and Kentucky wins the ball game.
But there was no bluegrass miracle this time around. Rather, just a case of the blues. The nation's longest winning streak ended, and so did LSU's time as the #1 team in the nation, as Kentucky pulled off the upset in triple overtime, 43-37. The third Saturday of October presented 2 huge challenges for the Tigers, rebounding from the first loss of the season while also focusing on their showdown in Tiger Stadium with the 18th-ranked Auburn Tigers. It was the 3rd straight game and 4th in the last 5 that the Tigers faced a top 20 opponent. And Auburn didn't waste a lot of time setting the tempo, taking the opening drive 63 yards and converting on a 17-yard touchdown pass. When LSU's offense did respond later in the quarter, it did so quickly with a 4-play, 62-yard drive. 46 of those 62 coming on a scoring play by Keelan Williams.
Shotgun formation, 4-receiver pattern. Flynn tosses it out near side to Keelan Williams on the screen. He's at the 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. He scores! 46 yards on the screen to Keelan Williams.
Williams' first career touchdown reception was also the first point scored against Auburn in the first half of their last 4 games. The second quarter belonged to the Navy and Orange Tigers, who put 10 points on the board for a 17-7 halftime lead, matching LSU's largest halftime deficit of the season. The third quarter brought possibly the most frightening moment of the season, when senior Glenn Dorsey was taken down and feared by many to be out. Thankfully, Dorsey would leave the field on his own. LSU would then find its first lead of the game early in the 4th, when Jacob Hester scored on a 5-yard pass from Matt Flynn. That 20-17 lead would increase to 6 following a Colt David field goal, but the lead was anything but safe. Auburn put together a 9-play, 83-yard drive that ended on a 3-yard touchdown pass.
And comes in motion, sets up on the right side. There's the snap. Cox wants to throw, and he does, and it is a touchdown. It is called by Smith, and Auburn came right back down LSU's throats.
The point after gave Auburn a 24-23 lead. On the ensuing kickoff, fearful of the Tigers' return man, Auburn head coach Tommy Tuberville called for a squib kick. The call kept LSU from making a dramatic return, but it also gave the Tigers great field position. Starting at their own 42 with just over 3 minutes left to play, LSU moved the ball into field goal range and with 25 seconds left appeared to be in a position to attempt a game-winning field goal. But Miles, Flynn, and the Tiger offense had other ideas.
Flynn drops to throw, does throw towards Demetrius Byrd. He is interfered. Touchdown! Touchdown! Byrd! What a throw with 1 second left on the clock.
The win extended LSU's home win streak to a school record 18 games and gave the Tigers sole possession of first place in the SEC West.
Hey, my Tigers, fight all the way. Hey, my Tigers, win the game today. Hey, you got to know how to do it, do it all. Let's go on, pressure, do it like you got to go. Run up the score. Hey, my Tigers, stand right up the roar. Fight, keep it going to victory for LSU.
Senior Glenn Dorsey was a rarity in college football for 2007. Rare in that he was still playing college football, passing on the bright lights and the big money of the NFL for one more year in the purple and gold. A defense that was highly ranked in 2006, Dorsey's return in 2007 again had the Tigers picked as one of the top defenses in the country. He consistently found ways to change an opponent's offense, whether by making a play himself or facing a double team and opening things up for others. But against Auburn, the third quarter play that took him down may have silenced everyone watching, but it wasn't enough to knock him out. A Glenn Dorsey not at a full 100% was still better than just about anyone else at full speed. By season's end, Dorsey would become the most decorated defensive player in LSU history, winning the Outland, Lombardi, Nagurski, and Lott awards, as well as being named a first-team All-American and the SEC Defensive Player of the Year. Now completely healthy, Dorsey is ready for the next level and will carry the title of national champion with him wherever he goes. For the native of Gonzales, Louisiana, one more year in Baton Rouge was worth every minute. The Tigers hit their only bye week of the season at the right time. It gave the team a chance to heal up and gave the fans a chance to build up the hype. LSU traveled to Tuscaloosa to face the Alabama Crimson Tide and former head coach Nick Saban. The Tigers had the Crimson Tide backpedaling early as LSU held the ball for more than 10 minutes in the first quarter and built a 10-3 lead. Then on the first play of the second quarter, that lead would increase to 14.
Third and goal from the goal line. I formation, everybody in tight. Here is Dixon in motion, Flynn under center. Hands it to Hester, and Hester is in for the score over the offensive left side. Hester from 1 yard out.
But at 17-3, instead of putting Bama away early, the Tigers would go in reverse. 3 straight possessions would end in Matt Flynn interceptions. Alabama would take advantage and take the lead into half.
2nd and 19 for Alabama, back at the 29-yard line. 4 receiver pattern, 3 right and 1 left. Shotgun. Wilson back in the pocket, plenty of time to throw. Throws towards the end zone, and it is touchdown.
Both teams would trade touchdowns in the third quarter. After the Tide opened a 10-point lead, LSU would waste little time answering.
40 seconds left in the third quarter. Tigers trail by 10 on the road. Flynn in the shotgun. There's a snap. Drops the throw. Throws it way downfield to Byrd. He's got it on the run, and he's going to score!
In the fourth, Colt David would even things up at 27 with a 49-yard field goal. But Alabama would not go away. scoring against LSU in a way the Tigers haven't seen since 1999.
Now Patrick Fisher is standing back at the 2-yard line to have to punt it away. And it's a line drive punt that is going to be taken back at the 38-yard line, and here he comes. LSU better get him, and they haven't yet, and they're not going to. He is going to take it the distance for a touchdown.
With an electric Bryant-Denny Stadium crowd cheering against them, the Tigers stayed calm. After all, deciding games in the final minutes was becoming second nature. Matt Flynn engineered a 10-play, 84-yard drive, and a once-again healthy early Doucette made sure the Tigers would cash in.
Flynn drops, looks, and throws. Caught. Doucette. 20, 15, 10, 5. He scored!
Tied at 34, and with the LSU faithful roaring, it was time for LSU's defense to make a play. Enter freshman Chad Jones for the biggest of LSU's 7 sacks in the game.
Shotgun formation. LSU's bringing everybody, and they got Wilson. He fumbled the ball. It's loose. LSU has got it at the 3-yard line.
With a ball deep in Bama territory, it took just 2 plays to convert, and who else but Jacob Hester to get the job done.
Flynn under center. Hands it to Hester, and he is at the goal line. Touchdown! Hester up and over from 1 yard out.
2 touchdowns in 96 seconds added silence to a stunned home crowd. Despite 14 penalties for 130 yards and 3 turnovers, LSU returned home with the 41-34 victory. It was the 4th straight game decided in the 4th quarter or later, and it was the team's 5th win over a top 20 opponent.
People were down him and said he wasn't the best. Thinking we know the best this night. Game on.
Listen up. Tell me, because I want to see it. I accept it. I accept this humbly. I understand it was given by a team fought like Delta.
Well, we knew coming in it was definitely going to be a tough game. In Alabama, they were going to give us, their best efforts tonight, and I thought they did so. And, it was exactly what we expected, a tough physical game, and it was going to come down to the wire. And, although we had a few turnovers, which could have been costly, we were able to overcome that and just continue to stay poised and positive throughout those tough situations and just make some big plays when needed.
Oh, it's the biggest of the year because now we control our own destiny in the SEC West, and that was huge. Coming in, we were tied with Alabama, and if they would have won, we would have had to get them guys to lose 2 games out of the next 3 just to have a chance at the championship game. So this game is huge.
On November 10th, as the team continued to make its climb back up the national rankings, LSU stepped out of conference and welcomed former assistant coach Derek Dooley and the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs to Tiger Stadium for homecoming. It was the first meeting between these 2 programs since the 2003 season and the 18th overall in a series the Tigers led 16 games to 1. Before Tiger fans could get comfortable in the seats, LSU's defense made an early statement, and the offense was able to convert.
And the Tech will send 2 receivers out to the left side, 1 to the right on 2nd and 10. Champion dropped the football. It is loose. LSU's got it at the 25-yard line. Matt Flynn tries to sneak, and he's in for the score. Flynn took the snap, stood up, looked to the left, and followed the left side of the LSU offensive line. That is his 2nd rushing touchdown, and the Tigers jump out in front after the turnover.
The team never looked back in a game that was filled with big plays. Up 13-7, Matt Flynn capped a 3-play drive that would turn out to be the longest passing play of the season.
2nd down and 12. 2 receivers left and 1 right. Shotgun formation. Flynn ducks down, drops back to throw, throws way downfield to Tolliver. He's got it, and they're not going to get him. He's going to take it the distance. Terrence Tolliver, 71 yards.
Carrying a 30-7 lead in the 3rd quarter, it was time for Jacob Hester to once again separate himself from others.
Here comes Doucette in motion to the near side. And Flynn hands the ball off to Hester, and Hester breaks it. He's in the open and is going to score. Nobody's going to run him down. Hester is down to the 25, the 20, the 10. He scores. It is an 87-yard run.
Hester's 87-yard sprint was the longest of his career, the longest of the season, and was the 5th longest touchdown run in LSU history. When it was all said and done, LSU walked away with a comfortable 58-10 victory, but there were more reasons than just homecoming to celebrate. Thanks to losses elsewhere in the conference, the Tigers on this night clinched the SEC Western Division title. And thanks to a loss by then top-ranked Ohio State, LSU was poised to move back into that #1 spot in the BCS standings. Senior quarterback Matt Flynn spent the majority of his career watching LSU's offense rather than leading it, playing behind the NFL's 2007 #1 overall draft pick, Jamarcus Russell. But instead of leaving, Flynn watched and learned and prepared for exactly what the 2007 season turned out to be. Despite missing 2 games due to injury, Flynn ranked 7th in LSU history for passing yards in a season with over 2,400. With the 3 touchdowns thrown against Louisiana Tech, Flynn joined elite company, becoming just the 2nd quarterback in school history to throw for at least 3 touchdowns in 3 consecutive games. A career that was composed of waiting, patience, and perseverance, Matt Flynn made sure to make the most of his 2007 season. Back at #1 in the BCS standings, the Tigers traveled to Oxford to face a struggling Ole Miss Rebel team that was winless in the conference. A Tiger win would clinch the West outright and give LSU its 10th win of the season. Determined to strengthen their hold on the nation's #1 ranking, the Tigers overwhelmed Ole Miss on the ground, opening the game with a 98-yard drive, capped off by Matt Flynn's 4th career rushing touchdown.
Kester is the running back, Flynn under center. Jordan in motion, and Flynn with the ball runs the option and will keep it himself, and he is in for the score. A 98-yard drive.
Charles Scott, Jacob Hester, and Keelan Williams would also add to the backfield scoring parade, but not all of the scores on the ground came courtesy of the running game. After Ole Miss scored to tie the game at 7, they kicked to Trendon Holiday, a decision he would make them regret.
Crowd is very much into it after that last offensive drive and then that punt return for a touchdown. There's the kick towards Holiday. Backs up, takes it at the 3, got a chance to return it. Let's see what happens. As he breaks it, goes to the outside. I'll tell you what's going to happen. He's going to take it the distance. They're not going to get anywhere close to Holiday. He's going all the way. 98 yards on the return for Holiday.
The 98-yard touchdown return ties the 5th longest in school history, equaling a return by Jerry Stovall against Georgia Tech in 1962. Holiday also entered the record books on his own, becoming the first Tiger in history to return more than 1 kickoff for a touchdown in a career. The Rebels cut the lead to 10 early in the 4th quarter, but that was as close as they would get. LSU went on to win 41-24, clinching the Western Division outright and reaching the 10-win mark for the 3rd straight season, a school record. LSU also won its 18th straight game in November with 1 more to play.
That's 10. You did what you came to do. You win. Recognize this. That opponent gave you its best shot. Listen to me. They take a week off. Why? Take a week off for us. They put the open week right in front of us. They get the healthiest they can be. They gave you every enthusiasm, every play, every effort that they could. And it wasn't near enough. Wasn't near enough. Round of applause for this team.
Oh yeah, man, we're looking forward to the Arkansas game. You know, every year it's a close one. I mean, and just like Ole Miss, just like every game in the SEC, it's going to be a close one every week. So we got to get out and, you know, prepare for Arkansas, prepare for those 2 great running backs they have down there, and you know, just clean up stuff and, you know, get ready.
You know, that's the last game in Tiger Stadium for all the seniors, so you're always going to play big in that situation. And Arkansas is a good team. They got a real good running game, and we got to be up, you know, at the top of our level to win that game because they're going to come into our house and give us their best shot. And we got to be ready for it and play dominating football for 4 quarters.
On the Friday after Thanksgiving, the 4th largest crowd in Tiger Stadium history said goodbye to 25 seniors before watching the Tigers host Arkansas in the season finale. Entering the game as the consensus #1 team in the country, the Tigers were 2 wins away from locking up a spot in the BCS National Championship game. The afternoon did not set up to be an offensive showcase. 2 Colt David field goals would be LSU's only points in the first half. In the second, Arkansas would answer to give the visitors a 1-point halftime lead at 7-6. The offense that was missing in the first half showed up in full force starting in the third quarter. McFadden reached the end zone again, dashing 73 yards for a touchdown before LSU's rushing leader would answer, and the Tigers would tie the score at 14.
Here is and in motion, LaFell going to the far side, and Flynn hands the ball off, and it's Hester plowing his way down for the touchdown! Jacob Hester just would not be denied. Tigers are going to go for two. It's the first time that they have gone for two this year. Hester is the running back. Flynn will run it to the near side, and he's going to run it towards the corner, and he gets it in there! Flynn on the option, faked it to Hester, ran towards the near corner of the end zone and got it just inside the piling, and the Tigers have tied it up.
The ground game of Arkansas would strike again with another big play, this time from 65 yards out. Punch, counter punch. The Tigers marched 75 yards to answer and tie the game at 21.
Hester is back there with Flynn on 3rd and goal from the 7 in the shotgun. There's the snap, and Flynn looks to throw and does, and it is caught by Bird. Touchdown!
But after Arkansas took a 7-point lead in the fourth quarter, LSU did what they've done all season long. Converted 2 crucial 4th downs on a must-have drive, including a 4th and 2 from the Arkansas 2-yard line with the #1 ranking on the line.
4th and goal from about the 3-yard line. There is the shotgun formation, and Flynn looks and throws. It is caught for the touchdown! This one will count! Demetrius Bird!
With nothing decided in regulation, the Tigers struck first in overtime on their 3rd play from scrimmage when Matt Flynn dashed in from 12 yards out. The focus then shifted to LSU's defense, who had a chance to end it when they forced Arkansas into a 4th and 10 from the 25-yard line.
2 receivers right and 1 left. Dick is in there, I believe, with McFadden in the backfield. There's a snap, and he drops to throw. Looks. He's pressured out of the pocket. He throws. A man is wide open, and he's got it out of bounds. Oh!
Arkansas would not let their conversion go to waste, scoring 3 plays later to tie the game yet again. The second overtime would produce 2 more touchdowns, sending the Tigers to their second 3-overtime game of the season. Arkansas would have the ball first and used 6 straight rushing plays to cash in. LSU would answer in just 3 plays, with Flynn hitting Brandon LaFell for a 9-yard touchdown. But in the third overtime, LSU had to go for the 2-point conversion to tie.
Here we go. 3 receivers left and 1 right. Shotgun formation. Hester is back there with Flynn, and it's come to this. Flynn throws. Intercepted. It is over. Arkansas wins, and LSU's national championship aspirations are over.
For the second time this season, the Tigers would lose in triple overtime as the #1 team in the nation. The loss snapped LSU's 18-game win streak in the month of November, and the team's 19-game home win streak, which was the longest in the nation. The SEC championship game was just 1 week away, but a spot in the national championship game in New Orleans now seemed all but hogwashed away.
And by tomorrow, you know, it's going to hurt everybody. Everybody's going to be sick tomorrow. We'll come in, do some stretching tomorrow. You know, after tomorrow, it's over with. Everybody should clear their heads, get ready to win an SEC championship.
Very disappointed. Heartbreaking experience. We worked all year to reach our main goal, which was, finishing the season, off the right way, the correct way, and hopefully advancing to the national championship. But let down here and there. We had a few miscues here and there, and they were able to make some big plays, and they made the plays this time around. And just very disappointing right now.
It's very disappointing. I mean, especially to come back like that, to tie the game up, going to overtime, and then to get the loss. I mean, it's very disappointing. 2 losses, be both of them in triple overtime, and I mean, it's just something you obviously don't want to happen. But we got to bounce back and play a championship game.
December 3rd started out like any other game day as the Tigers were in Atlanta, refocused following their loss to Arkansas and ready to face Tennessee for the SEC championship. But early that morning, national television reports surfaced that Les Miles would be leaving LSU, win or lose, following the day's game. With his team in the locker room just 2 hours before kickoff, Miles held an unprecedented press conference that may very well define his tenure as LSU's head coach.
There was misinformation on ESPN, and I think it's imperative that I straighten it out. I'm the head coach at LSU. I will be the head coach at LSU. I have no interest in talking to anybody else. I got a championship game to play, and I'm excited about the opportunity of my damn strong football team to play in it. And it's really all I'd like to say. It was unfortunate that I had to address my team with this information this morning, but that being done, I think we'll be ready to play. There'll be no questions from me. I represent me in this issue. Please ask me after. I'm busy. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Miles took less than a minute to say what will be remembered for years. Now it was back to business, coaching the Tigers in the SEC Championship. This was the second time LSU and Tennessee met in Atlanta with the conference title on the line, the last coming in 2001 when LSU won 31-20. Quarterback Matt Flynn missed the game with a shoulder injury, giving sophomore Ryan Perilou his second career start. He was more than up to the challenge. Trailing 7-6 at the half, Perilou led the Tigers on a 76-yard drive to open the third quarter. Included in the drive was the longest pass completion of the game, coming on a 3rd and 3 from their own 31.
There's a snap, short drop. He's in deep trouble, rolls to the near side, throws it deep. LaFell is down there, and he has got it, and he's down at the 20-yard line.
3 plays later, the Tigers would take their first lead of the game at 13-7.
4-receiver pattern, shotgun formation. Hester is back there with Perilou. There's the snap. Here comes the rush. Perilou throws, and it is caught. Touchdown, Bears!
There you go.
27-yard touchdown pass, right on the money. Threaded the needle there.
Tennessee would respond later in the quarter to take a 1-point lead, and it looked as though they would build on that lead when Perilou made his one mistake of the game in the fourth quarter.
5-receiver pattern, 3 right and 2 left. Perilou back there by himself. There's the snap. 4-man rush. Perilou, plenty of time. Now it is broken down, and he throws an interception right into the hands of Tennessee. Back to the LSU 38, and Tennessee is taking charge of the ball game.
But then it was time for the defense to stand up and be noticed. The Vols were held to 3 yards on the possession, leading to a 51-yard field goal attempt to add to their lead.
He missed a chip shot earlier, but he makes this one. That'll be quite an accomplishment. He has the leg to do it. There's the snap. And there's the kick. He's got the distance. And it's right. Oh, he missed it.
In the fourth, a Patrick Fisher punt pinned Tennessee deep in their own territory. The door was open for a big play to be made, and Jonathan Zenon decided to crash on through.
Foster is back there. And Ames stays in the shotgun on 3rd down and 5. And there's the snap. Here comes the Tiger rush. Here's the pass. It is intercepted. Zenon, touchdown! My. That is his 3rd interception of the year. And the Tigers are going to go for 2 here. Going to go for 2.
They better hurry. 12 seconds, 11 remaining on the play clock.
Yep, they better. It's down to 6 now. Now they shift into the shotgun. There's a snap. Perilou fakes it, keeps it himself, and he's in. He faked it to Hester, took it in himself, and the Tigers get the 2-point conversion.
Tennessee would have one final shot, and with 3 minutes left to play, hit the big play they needed to put them in striking distance of the end zone.
2nd down and about 17. 2 receivers right and 1 left. Ainge, play action fake, deep drop, rolls to the near side, throws it, caught at the 45, and a lot of room to run, and there's nobody going to catch him. He's at the 20, he is out of bounds at the 15-yard line.
But one play later, LSU's defense made the biggest play of the game.
2 receivers left and 1 right. Foster, the running back. Play action fake. Ainge looks and throws. Intercepted! Picked off by Gary Beckwith at the 6-yard line.
With a 21-14 victory, the Tigers won the school's 10th SEC championship and first since 2003. Perilou earned MVP honors, and for the 4th time since 2001, the Tigers earned a BCS invite. They knew they were headed to New Orleans, but for which game? The All-State Sugar Bowl or the BCS National Championship game? That was still uncertain. The Tigers did their part by winning the conference championship, but they still needed some very important chips to fall in their favor for a shot at the national title. Incredibly, they did, and the Tigers found themselves watching the selection show with a chance to play for it all. As the announcements started coming, the first team announced was Hawaii as an at-large participant in the Sugar Bowl. The Tigers, along with the rest of the nation, would have to wait another half hour before finally hearing who would face the Warriors. When it was announced that Georgia would represent the SEC in the Sugar Bowl, the Tigers knew their destiny was the BCS championship game. LSU vaulted from number 7 to number 2 and was now set to face the new number 1 team, Ohio State. LSU and Ohio State had a lot in common. Both teams won their respective conferences. Both teams previously spent time as the nation's number 1 team. And both teams were playing for the right to be college football's first 2-time winner of the BCS national title. LSU was in comfortable surroundings in the Superdome, having won 7 straight games in the building. This was also the 4th BCS appearance for LSU, and all 4 were played in New Orleans. But it was Ohio State that looked relaxed to start the game, sending the scarlet-clad fans into a frenzy on the game's 4th play from scrimmage.
Long receiver to the near side, split back formation, and here's a handoff to Beanie Wells, straight up the middle, and he breaks it into the open. LSU may not catch him, and they won't. Ohio State scores on a 65-yard run from the line of scrimmage.
The Tigers certainly did not get off to their best start.
Wedge formation to the left, to the right, lone receiver to the left, shotgun formation as Flynn looks over the line. Oh my gosh, they snapped the ball past him and he falls on it at the 6-yard line, and LSU had a horrendous start offensively to this ball game.
After spotting Ohio State a 10-point lead, the Tigers cut it to 7 before the end of the first quarter. Then in the second quarter, the Buckeyes started to buckle. With 2 personal foul penalties on 1 drive, the Tigers made them pay.
Good, now quickly the Tigers will go on the quick snap. The pass is complete to Dixon. Touchdown! LSU caught Ohio State standing around looking. And quickly, Flynn tossed to Dixon for a 12-yard touchdown.
The turning point of the game came on the next drive after Ohio State drove into LSU territory and lined up for a field goal attempt.
All right, waiting on the snap. There it is. And the kick is blocked. It is blocked. That's the 4th one this year that's been blocked. And it's picked up and returned out to the 48-yard. Derry Beckwith picked it up. I'm not sure who blocked it, but Beckwith recovered.
In the span of 4 minutes, LSU took a 7-point lead on a Matt Flynn to Brandon LaFell touchdown pass, intercepted Ohio State quarterback Todd Beckman on the next series, and then put an exclamation point on the first half, courtesy of Jacob Hester.
Flynn under center. Dixon in motion. Flynn to Hester, and Hester is at the goal line, and
he made it in,
I think he got in. Yes, he's in. Late signal, but Hester pulled his way in.
LSU led 24-10 at the half, and an early confident Ohio State team looked dejected, searching for answers. The Tigers started the second half the same way they ended the first, and this time it was senior Early Doucette's turn to cash in.
Shotgun formation, Doucette goes in motion, sets up on the near side. There's the fake handoff. Flynn will toss it to Doucette at the 5, and he's just going to score! Doucette should have been tackled at the 3-yard line. They had him in his hands, and he just fought through it. It was Aaron Petrie who had hold of him.
31 unanswered points by the Tigers turned a 10-point deficit into a 21-point lead. While Ohio State entered the game with the nation's number 1 defense, it was LSU's defense that proved worthy of the preseason attention it had received, making sure the Buckeyes would never threaten that lead again. Quarterback Todd Beckman was sacked 5 times, intercepted twice, and the Buckeyes lost 1 of their 3 fumbles. In the end, the scoreboard read 38-24, and LSU was national champions for the 2nd time this decade and the first to win 2 BCS national titles. Senior quarterback Matt Flynn won Offensive MVP honors, while Ricky Jean-Francois took home the Defensive MVP award. LSU is now 4-0 in BCS bowl games, and in their 3 bowl games under Les Miles, the Tigers have outscored their opponents by a total of 99 points. Shortly after the game, the Tigers received word they were also named consensus national champs by every major media outlet. On the field, the Tigers earned it, and they now have all of the hardware to show it. That hardware was once again on display in mid-January as the Tigers held a championship celebration in Tiger Stadium. Over 25,000 braved cold and wet weather conditions to pay tribute not only to this team as a whole, but to the winningest senior class in LSU history. As a class, they set records for most wins with 56, most SEC wins with 33, most wins over top 10 teams with 10.
Man, it feel great, man. First, I'd like to give thanks to God Almighty, bro, and the state of Louisiana, bro. You know what I'm saying? The state been through so much after the storm for the last couple of years, and it's like we got something, you know what I'm saying, that just to lift the spirit of the people in Louisiana, man. It's just great to be a Tiger right now.
Oh, I feel great. I'm very overwhelmed right now. Words can't express how I feel. You know, that's what we worked for the whole season. We've been working day in and day out, and I think we came out here, you know, we took our game plan and we executed perfectly.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I can't even describe the words. The euphoria right now. Just think about what kind of game it was after we got down quickly, 10-zip. This team has the heart of a champion, and we never gave up. And Ohio State has a bunch of great players, but this team's just persevered so much and overcome so many obstacles that it was sort of expected for us, you know?
I think that's something, you know, we've been showing throughout this whole year. You know, we've been down at times, we've been up. We had to win, you know, second. We had to win games in the last second. So that's something that I don't think nobody should be surprised about tonight.
Unbelievable. You know, never thought it would be so exciting to have the opportunity to be in front of your family and friends with a, you know, great group of guys that battled with all year. Something you never forget.
Through high preseason expectations, some heart-stopping victories, a few agonizing defeats, and a day that defined a head coach, the Tiger fans gave to the players. And the players gave back to the LSU faithful, in the end raising a championship flag high above Tiger Stadium, to always remember the team that through it all persevered with a heart of gold. The 2007 LSU football Tigers, college football's national champions.